The Joe Rogan Experience.
When you know like the wave is about to collapse on you, like what do you do?
I mean, you execute your plan that you have. Like for me, it was more, and I don't do as much big wave stuff as I once did. 49 now and trying to mellow out. I still love big waves, but it was my life for a while. And at the time, I was training like a madman, like super physically fit, working out 6 days a week, super high, like crazy intense. And I was working with like breath coaches to do like breath work and stuff. So as soon as I would paddle into the lineup when I was surfing big waves, I was breathing to where I was oxygenating my lungs. Did I say that right? And so you basically try to get as much air into your lungs as possible when you know you're about to eat shit or go under a really huge wave. And then it's just a matter of like holding your breath.
So you just take a giant deep breath before you go under?
Like crazy, and you stuff your lungs and everywhere else as much as you can. You pack your lungs with as much air as you can, as much oxygen as you can.
Oh my God, Shane Dorian, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, that's scary.
And that's me eating shit.
Wow, but look at this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so wild, dude. And when you eat shit that hard and it comes down on you that hard, like how much time does it take before you can get up to the surface?
It really depends. I mean, in a really bad situation, I had one wipeout off the coast of Northern California in Half Moon Bay at this wave called Mavericks, where this chick was on a boat filming, and she filmed me eating shit, much like that. And I was underwater. She was filming my board, and it was tombstoning, meaning she could only see the top half of my surfboard. The bottom half was underwater, and I was at the end of like a 15-foot leash to my surfboard. So my board is about 10 and a half feet long. My leash was 15 feet long, and then I was at the very bottom of that leash.
Oh,
and I was underwater for a minute and about 8 seconds. A long time. It doesn't sound like that long, right?
Fucking sounds like a long ass time.
But I did a lot of breath training, or I didn't do a lot of breath training, but I did some breath training, and like basically your static breath hold, like whatever you can do in a pool with a calm heart rate, like you can basically under pressure, like if your heart rate's going crazy, you can hold your breath for a quarter of your static breath hold.
Oh my God.
So like when I did my static, isn't that scary?
It's terrifying.
But it's powerful because if you know that you have, say hypothetically, you have a 4-minute breath hold, static, then that means under pressure, like in a situation like that, where your heart rate's really high and you're getting the shit kicked out of you, you should be able to hold your breath for 1 minute and survive.
Yeah, but I can't hold my breath for 4 minutes. I think when we did that thing with
how long
David
do you think
Blaine,
you can do it?
How long did I hold my breath?
We didn't finish it, but you did it quite a long time. And he was about to teach us how to do it longer, but we didn't get that far.
They can teach you how to do it
I did
longer.
it longer than everybody else, but I still didn't think it was that long.
Over 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, but that's not that long.
But I don't think it was 4, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 minutes. But Vasily Lomachenko, one of the things he does for every fight is he tries to make his ability to hold his breath longer. And for this last one, he got to 4 minutes and 30 seconds, which is like 2 seconds longer than his previous
rookie
record.
numbers.
I would imagine for like a free surfer or a free diver, right?
It's got to be so good for him, right? It's a huge advantage. That lung capacity is massive with fighting.
Yes, for sure.
But
I think he does it also just for mental toughness, just like to build, just the ability to steel his mind and just fucking just
a lot of it
deal.
is just being, like for me, it was great because I had that, like if you don't know that, if you don't know the science behind holding your breath for a long time under pressure with a high heart rate, then you just go into these wipeouts like, fuck, I hope I survive. I need to hold my breath. And when you have that hope type of mindset, then your heart rate goes higher and you start burning more oxygen.
Right.
But if you don't have that hope, if that's not a part of your mindset and you're just like, shit, I've done the training, I know how long I can hold my breath with a high heart rate. And knowing that number and knowing that you're pretty much never going to be held underwater for that long. Like I could hold my breath. The longest I held my breath during the breath training thing that I did was 5 minutes and 34 seconds.
Well, hope is not a good thing for any skill.
No.
Like I hope the ball goes in the net. It's not going in. I hope I make this shot. I'm not making the shot. Like in archery, like you can't hope you hit the vitals. You have to know you're going to hit the vitals. When you release that arrow, you have to have fucking hours and hours and hours
Right.
and hours and hours of training.
If you're hoping,
Yeah,
you're toast.
you're hoping you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
And it's like that with big waves. So for me, I was like, okay, I can hold my breath for 5 minutes and 34 seconds. And so I can, so 25% of that, I can do that with a high heart rate. So
That's your record is 5:34.
yeah.
When those free divers get to like 7, 8 minutes, like what are they doing different? They just
Well, and I only did one 3-day course of like breath training or 4-day course. So they teach you the science behind breath holding, and then they help you with like things to think about to get your static higher and higher and higher.
well, give us the cliff notes. Like what are they?
Essentially, they have you hold your breath right at the start, see how what your static breath hold is, and then they teach you how to hold it for longer. And so it's almost like meditation. Like for me, like you basically you don't think of time, you don't count the seconds, you think about things that have like for me, it was like, they were like, hey, think about something that's super detailed and go through that process while you're holding your breath. So I was in the pool and a guy's timing me and I'm in a wetsuit and I go underwater and I packed my bags to go hunting on Lanai.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, so I started holding my breath and went underwater and I was like, hey, what do I need for my hunting trip on Lanai? I need how many arrows do I need? 3 dozen. And then I was like, okay, I get my broadheads, then I gotta get my boots. Okay, now I gotta get my waterproof boots. Now I need to get my like sneaking shoes. Okay, what socks do I need? Like super detailed, super boring stuff that you know really well. And I went through that whole packing thing. And then I like literally I got in my truck in my mind, drove down to the airport, got on the plane, flew there, got off the plane. It was like all this stuff was happening. And then I didn't know how much time had passed. And then you have that involuntary urge to breathe. Have you ever held your breath for a long time and all of a sudden you go,
Yeah.
your stomach starts doing this thing where it's like telling your brain, you need to breathe now or else you're going to die. It's not true. So when you do these breath holding classes, it's really neat because they tell you like when that urge to breathe, that tells you need to breathe right now or you're going to black out or die or whatever it is, especially if you're underwater. It's really scary, right? And so they teach you to go, okay, you need to hold through these big contractions. And so like these contractions are happening and you're not paying attention to them when you're like in this meditative type of mindset. And that's how you can hold your breath for a super long time.
So when you go through them, does it ever get easier when you hit those things?
Yeah.
Or is it just something you learn how to deal with?
It's super uncomfortable, right? And so you learn to deal with it. You learn to go, okay, this is totally normal. I know I can hold through multiple minutes of these contractions.
This urge.
Yeah. So then you end up like not even paying attention to them.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's
But
still
you need to
uncomfortable,
at the
right.
end because you get really like spacey and relaxed, like super in this meditative state to where like at the end, because they start speeding up, those contractions start speeding up. And when they get to a certain, when they start happening fast enough, you black out. So when I was doing this underwater training, you do it with a partner. There's a guy watching you all the time. So you don't have a shallow water blackout and you don't drown.
Jesus.
Yeah.